It's 10 o'clock, and this is Fox 10 Talks. There is a manhunt underway after a story we first covered for you right at the beginning of the week. And now police are beginning the process of identifying their suspects and releasing video of a man they say is most likely on the loose somewhere here in Arizona, but who should be considered armed and extremely dangerous after the killing of a Tucson Police Department police recruit who was just a week away from becoming an officer on that force. So that's one of our big stories this morning, and we're going to get into it for you. But also today here on FTT, the defense in the Lindsay Clancy trial just rested about an hour ago. So, there had been some predictions that that case was going to last potentially a lot longer than it apparently is. The prosecution already in the process of calling their rebuttal witnesses. So we'll have that. We'll have more on the manhunt for the killer. And then you've got to see the video. Speaking of the great work police do, you've just got to see this video. It's from a sheriff's department where there was a guy whose car was burning, and they were struggling, these deputies, to get him out of the car before it just exploded in flames. It's really all quite a story. So we say good morning to Celeste as well. Good morning, Celeste.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ron. It's nice to see you again. It's been too long. Look at that close-up image.
Oh, I like that. No, come on. No, see, now Brian's widening out. I was going to say, bring it on in.
Well, I just told Ron the other day, I'm like, buddy, you are looking tan. I don't know what is going on, but your skin, you're just like glowing.
Is it? Is that what's going on?
Yeah,
I don't know. It looks normal to me. But if you want to call it glowing, Celeste, I will take that compliment for sure.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into it. We have several stories just kind of related to violence, either in our community or in other parts of the state. Let's go. To get you up to speed right now. This story, this is from the Pima County Sheriff's Office, and this is the subject of a manhunt where the Sheriff's Department put out what they call a blue alert in the deadly shooting of a police recruit and his fiancée. So they're asking everybody statewide to be on the loose. Look, here's some video from the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Alex James Barnett. You saw the image a minute ago. Look, they got several, and they got these unique tattoos. And he rides a big old red Harley like that. So, very distinctive. And what they are saying is they're urging everybody to keep an eye out for the Harley. It's got an Arizona plate of DA466. Harleys are somewhat distinctive.
Yes.
And then they've even got this video, Celeste, that they released. They have done a great job of just beginning the process now of trying to piece together who these killers might be. So they have the ID on the one guy, but they're also looking for two other suspects. Now, what could have been going on where this individual who was killed, 23 years old, shot to death at his home days before he was going to enter the police force? And this is the second time this year, Celeste, that there is a real mystery unfolding in Tucson.
Well, and I think for folks in southern Arizona, you received, someone sent me a notice on this, you received an alert on your cell phone. Hey, take a look at, make sure you're aware that this man is, we're looking for him, this is a description for him. And so the authorities are really taking this very, very seriously, as you can imagine. You're looking at some of the scene video with the mobile police unit there, command van, and it really is so unfortunate. I mean, you think he was about to enter the police force.
Right.
His fiancée was injured.
And it seems very pre-planned, premeditated. Why would three guys burst into somebody's home and gun him down as he's trying to begin his new career in the police, in law enforcement. I mean, there are a lot of gaps to fill in this story.
Yeah, and in Tucson, it brings to, when you think about it, it seems like a home invasion of sorts. We don't know if they knew each other or not. We don't know a lot of the details. But there was another home invasion I think we had just several days ago in Tucson. Yep. And it was a masked man, kind of a ski mask thing. And then I thought, that's kind of similar to what happened in Nancy Guthrie. It was the masked man, and you don't, that case is still unsolved. You have the other situation in Tucson, this case now that has taken place, and it's, they seem all kind of home invasion type stories. It's really frightening.
Okay, so we are going to stay on that one. Then back here in the Valley, closer to home, I just have the feeling that this is going to become a bigger and bigger story, Celeste, as the days go on. Violence in our community, the deadly attack. Now, they're releasing the pictures of these 4 people they say are not suspects, at least right now. And there was a 19-year-old who apparently was so viciously attacked, got into a fight at an apartment complex at a big field there. There's the field right there, 43rd Avenue in McDowell. And the 19-year-old victim, who is Tumasifu Bazaraki, died 7 days later in the hospital after the fight. And the victim's mom is heartbroken. She says really his life was so... he was so excited about his future. He had just graduated high school, getting ready to start his college time, and he had a dream of becoming a firefighter. So what was going on in that case? One more time, there are the pictures of the 4 young men they are looking for, and here's the young man who lost his life.
It's too much violence with our youth, Ron. We had the situation out in Queen Creek not too long ago. Right. It's just so unfortunate.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, and then one more to tell you about as well, and this is another one. We do have the video. This is unusual because it happened up on the Havasupai Reservation, which is there in the Grand Canyon. But this violent assault was caught on camera. And by the way, there's the arrest. And here's the assault. What is happening? So there is a 29-year-old in this particular case who has a rap sheet that he did 5 years of hard time in federal prison for a robbery case that went back 10 years. His name is Taylor Nardo Paya, but he's the one who's now been accused of trying to rip off this lady's clothing. She's there visiting Arizona from elsewhere, and she's just looking forward to, getting through this area and hiking in one of the most beautiful spots in Arizona. And by the way, here's the video of the takedown. The guy's in cuffs, and he's accused of assaulting this woman from New York City. It had to be so shocking to her what was happening at the very moment.
Yes.
You're in one of the quietest parts of our state down there, down in the Grand Canyon, and then something like this happens out of the blue. It's just unbelievable.
Oh, my gosh. And here's the video. She's got a backpack on and the whole thing, Ron.
She's so excited to be in our state, and then something horrible like this happens.
And fortunately,
thank goodness she survived it.
And thank goodness we have this video. Imagine that is the thing.
Really good point, Celeste.
We wouldn't have known who it was if the Ring camera video was not there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, so those are 3 big stories that we're keeping track of for you. Crystal, when I went on at 6 this morning with Crystal, I said, now on the good news side, Celeste, when it comes to our weather, we were in the 80s.
In the morning.
It was 89 degrees, and I said it'll probably last for 5 minutes.
So get out and enjoy that 5 minutes.
Right. I notice, it seems like, because I'm up early in the morning, and in the neighborhood, people are out there walking their dogs now at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to avoid the heat.
As soon as they kind of see that sun peek over the horizon, people are like, let's take advantage of the day.
Yeah, I know. We're going to make it because we do it just feels like this year it's going a little long. longer. But
Yeah.
110 in August is just not unusual.
Well, and I think it's interesting that you mentioned this, and those of you in the chat, let us know if it feels like a second summer. I had someone send me a note on Instagram at Celeste Fox 10. By the way, you can share your thoughts there too. They slid into my DMs and they said, "Is this a second summer? Like, what is happening?" Because we had really nice. It felt like humid. We're easing into that fall.
Well, yes,
and then we get hot again, which isn't incredibly common this time of year. It's
and
just that
one of the things we get used to, or at least we kind of count on, is if you get one of those big rainstorms, then the next day you hope it cools off a little bit. So we had that big rainstorm on Wednesday night.
Yes.
We still hit like 109 or something yesterday.
we did.
Didn't do a lot for us.
No.
Okay. We talk a lot about police, and the work they do is really incredible. Celeste, we're going to roll this video here. You have got to see. This is a sheriff's department in Wise County, Texas. There's been a car crash. They come upon the scene. The car is already on fire, and they're doing everything they can to get the guy out of there while he's still alive and before the car just explodes in fire. Watch this.
Get out! Come on! Come on, grab his hand! Get out, dude! Oh, come on! Come on! I need you to push your feet, bro! Push! Come on! I can't help you if you don't push! Man, we're gonna get trapped, brother. Crawl through the Get out, bro! Come on, man! You gotta get out! Ah! Get out, dude! Bro! Hey! You got a fire extinguisher? He's there. You got him. You got him. They said we got the passenger out of the car. 1, 2, 3. Come on, let's go. 1.
And you can just hear them,
Unbelievable.
everything they went through to save that life, and they're just exhausted.
Oh,
just.
thank you.
Thank you to
Thank
law
you.
enforcement for what you guys do on an everyday basis.
All right, we'll be right back.
Happening live right now. J.D. Vance, the vice president, just took to the microphone. Let's listen in live from Middletown, Ohio for a moment.
He did what he was asked to do, and on his last day, he packed up, got in his truck, and he shot himself. It's not just Kevin, as you all know. Now, economists have measured the ways in which the opioid crisis exploded in the very locations where jobs were shipped overseas. The open borders demanded by those same people brought some innocent people, of course it did. But we also know that it brought a lot of cartels, it brought the fentanyl trade, and it left us with millions of orphan children being raised by aggrieved grandparents. That was the story, of course, of my mama and papa. Now, the blood of these men and women, these so-called deaths of despair.
Okay, very interesting because really we're now in the campaign season, and there's still questions. How much will we see the VP? How much will you see the president out on the campaign trail?
Yes.
But it's time for them to hone their arguments on both sides.
And he's in his hometown. He's making his trip back to Middletown, Ohio. This is hometown to talk about building the economy there in Ohio and what the administration is doing. So we're going to see more of these in the weeks to come.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this. Speaking of the world of politics, we're going to bring you up to speed right now because there was a brand new poll that came out. Very interesting. It looks like a pretty good-sized lead right now for Katie Hobbs over Andy Biggs. By the way, we have confirmation. Governor Hobbs and her lieutenant governor running mate, former Mesa Mayor John Giles, joining us next week on Thursday. That'll be really interesting, I think, Celeste.
Yes, it will be. We've had Biggs and his lieutenant governor.
Sina Kerr.
Yes, candidate in studio here on Fox 10 Talks. And this will be an opportunity for Hobbs and of course, John Giles to really share their vision for the future of Arizona as well.
Interesting because she has a lead on issues of water, education, housing affordability, and the spread of these data centers. Andy Biggs has a lead on what has traditionally been a pretty big issue here in us being a border state, which is immigration. And so, Celeste, that prompts today's poll question, which is, of course, cost of living is number one on everybody's mind. Everything from housing to the price of gas and groceries, all of it. And so we put this poll question together, knowing that that's number one. What else is important to you? And about over 60% are saying it's immigration. Only 3% are really worked up about these data centers. I guess it depends what neighborhood you live in. And about 30% are saying our water supply.
Okay, on YouTube, I just did a refresh. We've got 550 votes right now. 47% of the people say immigration, 38% say the spread of data centers, and 15% say our water supply. You know, interesting to note, we had Mike Noble from Noble Predictive Insights beginning of this week, and he was sharing the details from this study and from this poll that Ron just read some of those details of. He said, you know, the one thing that Hobbs has, and the reason why she may have some why voters may favor her in some of these areas, is because she's already been in office, so they see the work that she's done. Where Biggs, they haven't seen much of what he's done. I mean, on the national level, of course, but when you talk about local politics, that's going to be the one place where he'll have to really show off what he can accomplish.
Okay. We'll keep watching it for you. Right now, let's find out how you feel about these issues. Big D's on it. Big D.
That's right, guys. We've got lots of comments on fox10phoenix.com/poll, as well as on YouTube. Bud in Vegas says corrupt politicians who never get arrested and convicted. Saldar Nisel says, I choose immigration, but our water supply should be an issue. Coop 784 says, I'm not concerned with inflation. And finally, Jules 82420 says all of the above. Really interesting comments. Keep them coming, guys.
There we go. We got that shot adjusted, Dave.
There you go.
We wanted to see more of you.
Right?
Yes.
There was a little bit of extra headroom. The zoom in on Celeste to start the show was a winner. And the more we can see Big D, the better it is, right?
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, let's do this. Let's bring on Nima Rahmani, prominent attorney. We have spoken with him multiple times. Really gives us, I think, Celeste, great insight here. And so thanks again for joining us here on Fox 10 Talks. Boy, I don't know if you want to call it a stunner, but about 90 minutes ago, they wrapped their case, the defense did, in Lindsay Clancy. What do you think?
Well, Ron, I think if you're following this case, you're seeing that the tide is clearly turning in favor of the defense and against the prosecution. Now, the Commonwealth had a strong case, and I'm not saying social media is the end-all be-all, but it's a pretty good barometer, and it's very hard to get 12 men and women to agree on anything. What lunch to order in that jury room, much less a case like this where the facts really aren't in dispute. I think what's important to note, each state is different. Obviously, I'm licensed in Arizona, 6 different states. I'm not licensed in Massachusetts, but I do know this. In Massachusetts, the burden is on the prosecution to prove a defendant is not insane beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't think there's any world where they're going to get all 12.
What are your thoughts on the fact that she, after the unfortunate situation where she killed her children, she then jumped out of the window? Does that help or hurt the defense?
Celeste, it absolutely helps. This is why sometimes in these insanity cases, you see the defense trying to reconstruct it after the fact. For instance, that's what may happen in the Nick Reiner case. Obviously, had mental health issues, reported substance abuse issues. But in this particular case, Lindsay Clancy was on 12 different psychiatric meds, seeing 2 different practitioners. She checked herself voluntarily into an inpatient psychiatric facility and was discharged really against her will weeks before these murders. And importantly, like you said, Celeste, she tried to commit suicide. She cut her wrist, she cut her throat, she jumped headfirst out of that window. She's sitting in court, paralyzed in a wheelchair. That can't help but really draw sympathy from those jurors.
One of the things that I was curious about, though, was it seemed like a pretty strong move on the prosecution's part where they're, saying, okay, well, she said she heard voices and all the voices were telling her that she had to do something as horrible as this. How many times since then has she brought up these voices? And the answer was 0. I mean, that does play into the prosecution's part of the argument that she knew fairly well what she was doing.
Well, Ron, the prosecution has argued that she knew what she was doing because she sent her husband, Patrick, far away on a fool's errand so she would have time with the kids. That day, she built a slow man. She took one of her children to the doctor. So that sounds like someone who's lucid and coherent. If you go back to sort of the classic law school analogy or example of someone who's insane, is God telling you to do something, voices in your head. And there's 2 witnesses that testified this week for the defense that said that the first thing that Lindsay Clancy said when she came to, when she talked to her husband, was that she heard a male voice in her head telling her to do this and that her children would be saved. One of them is a retained expert for the defense, so maybe if you don't believe him. But the other one, Ron, was the hospital chaplain. She has no dog in this fight, and certainly anyone can lie, but I'll be very surprised if someone whose job it is to sort of do the right thing, at least for religious reasons, would. So very, very strong witness for the defense. And again, the reason I think the defense is calling it quits right now is because they think they're ahead. They could have called for a mistrial, asked for one with some problematic questioning earlier this week, but quit while you're ahead, stand pat, whatever analogy you want to use. With all those supporters of Lindsay Clancy outside wearing pink, I think the defense realizes that at worst, this is going to be a hung jury, but there's no way this is going to be a conviction.
Okay, let's move on to this next case, the Meta trial. What are your thoughts on the direction this is going when it comes to Facebook, Instagram, and social media?
Celeste, the plaintiffs here have all the momentum, and we're talking about 29 different states that have sued Meta. But taking a step back, this comes on the heels of 2 landmark bellwether cases. The first, of course, was in Los Angeles, where an individual plaintiff hit for $6 million. But then you go to New Mexico, where the AG there, the Attorney General, sued Meta and got a judgment of more than $500 million. So now you're talking about states that are a lot bigger, including California. And the potential award against Meta, Facebook, Instagram might be in the hundreds of billions of dollars. I think Meta, they have some arguments on appeal. But Celeste, if you're talking about where the momentum is going, this really reminds me of the opioid litigation where these lawsuits were filed and people really started to rethink the dangers of some of these prescription drugs, or even going back further. Yeah, I mean, I'm old enough to remember when there was smoking sections in restaurants and on planes, and that litigation against big tobacco really changed everything. It resulted in congressional hearings. I wouldn't be surprised if these types of lawsuits against social media do the same.
All right, let's squeeze one more in before our break. The White House is told shut down the construction project on the ballroom, but it's already underway. So the Supreme Court says, all right, we'll fast track it. We're going to take a look at it. Which way do you see this playing?
Ron, this can go either way, and I'm going to tell you why. So the Supreme Court doesn't take a whole lot of cases, just a very small percentage, but they usually do when there's a separation of powers issue. So why do I say that? This is a dispute between Congress, Article 1, and the executive branch, Article 2. And what's the issue? The executive, the president, has very broad discretion when it comes to matters of national security. So if this ballroom is to keep the president safe and for national security purposes, he'll be allowed to do it. But if the president is spending money that Congress hasn't appropriated, that is unlawful. Congress, of course, has the power to tax and spend, the power of the purse. So it's interesting to see which way this goes.
Okay. All right. I feel like we're up to speed, Celeste.
Oh, my goodness. That was amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's good to see you.
Good.
Great. You two have a great weekend.
There
Have a
are
great
sports
weekend.
prognosticators who won't go out on a limb and make those calls the way Nemo will. So it's
Yes.
fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, Celeste, there's this influencer who is coming in from the East Valley. I think she went to
Great
high
job,
school.
thanks.
Thanks, Dave. Have a good one.
Whoa, did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that's Big D with a sign off. This is Brayanna Sports. She is just developing this following, and she's going to come on and join us. She just set herself a goal coming out of high school,
Yeah.
and she's been immensely successful
It's
with
been
it.
pretty amazing. Also, equally successful, the mystery camera. We know many of you chime in just for the big MC. So here it is. We'll be right back.
Big MC. Oh, yeah. There are days, Celeste, that I cannot wait to find out exactly where the mystery cam is, because I don't think we've had this one before.
It doesn't look familiar.
The two blue bridges. So are we getting some guesses in?
We are getting some guesses. In fact, I'm sure Dean Fazzini is loving that you're saying,
Sure he is.
I'm not sure where this is.
I know. We know Dean, and he's giving us probably one of these kind of looks right now, like,
Yeah, he's laughing.
that evil laugh.
Yeah.
That he's outdone us again. But
So-
there it is. What do you think?
So we have a Kentucky from Linda Monterth. We have an Arkansas from Paul Humphrey. And Patrick Perry says Ohio. A few people are saying Ohio. Mary Young, B. Miguel. And we have some pretty good guesses. What are your thoughts on this one, Ron?
Boy, I could see most of those states. I could see a Kentucky, a Tennessee, an Ohio. I think I'm going to go Ohio. It kind of looks like the hills around Cincinnati.
Oh,
I'm not
Cincy.
sure it's Cincy, but I'm going Ohio. How about you?
I'm going to go with a West Virginia,
Wow.
just for fun.
Bold. All right, Celeste, here she is, everybody. Bum-ba-da.
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's
okay.
That's Tennessee. Nice work, you guys. There's a couple.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Andrew Gomez came in just before the big reveal, him and Linda Monterth, and they both said Tennessee.
Oh, nice.
Patrick Perry says Tennessee has the blue bridge.
Okay.
So now we know it's Tennessee.
There you go. All right, so thanks for playing along on that one. We have a quick story we're going to get to in the sports world, and then we've got a guess that I think you guys are really going to love. But did you hear about what was going on with our D-backs, Celeste? Remember when we had that storm night before last?
Yes.
Well, guess whose plane got stuck in the air above the valley, not able to land while we were all dealing with the downpours?
And where they ended up, I have to say, there's worse places to end up. I mean, sometimes your plane is diverted. Maybe you land in, no hard feelings here, but maybe it's like Albuquerque.
No hard feelings.
Or maybe it's like Fargo.
What? Do you think
Or
the people
maybe
of Albuquerque are sensitive, Celeste?
But if you're going to land a plane, Ron,
Look,
landing in Vegas.
Welcome to Vegas.
Is-
Look, pop-up marriage licenses.
It's a pretty good place to spend 24 hours.
Yeah, they had to circle Sky Harbor for an hour, and then finally they said, all right, now we got to go land in Vegas.
And all the guys on the plane were like, oh, shucks.
Yeah. And then the crew says, oops, we timed out. So they had to actually stay there on Wednesday night.
They did.
Get ready to come back
I
here.
wonder where they stayed and,
I wonder.
What, if they want any money or,
Sure.
maybe playing poker?
They were probably pretty tired. But it's dicey. Anytime in August and September that you try to fly in at night to Sky Harbor, there's no guarantees.
Oh, that's so
right?
true.
All right, so we should talk about the D-backs, but we should also talk about our Cardinals. We should talk about the Suns and more with Brayanna Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. Hi, Brayanna.
Hi.
Good morning. Nice to see you.
Good to see you guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about social media, your love for sports. You have an amazing Instagram page. You've done some great interviews. Where did your love for sport, where was it birthed?
I mean, pretty much as young as I can remember. I started playing fantasy football when I was 8 years old. I think a big credit goes to my mom and my stepdad at the time. Growing up in Michigan and Arizona, I had the love for the Cardinals and the Suns and the D-backs, and it really just started mainly in high school too, because that's when I was a news anchor for 2 years at Higley High School. So I think that's really where it started, just as young as I can remember.
Wow.
Good for you.
So then how do you start your Instagram account? And we're going to show some of the highlights here. I mean, you've had Devin Booker, you've had Mike Tyson. How did you start, and how are you landing the biggest of the big interviews?
Yeah, that's a great question. So basically in high school, my junior and senior year, I was the news anchor, and all 4 years throughout high school, we would make projects and packages. So I would do that, and my high school teacher, Mr. Nuttall, was like, well, you need to make an Instagram if you want to go to college. You can get scholarships if you just highlight your work. And that's what I did. And then ever since then, it kind of just went up and up and up, and it skyrocketed. And just getting these interviews is really just about being consistent, showing up. I was always at Suns games with a poster saying, Devin Booker, please, because we're from the same town in Michigan. Yeah, so his dog Haven's literally named after Grand Haven, my hometown.
Wow.
Yeah, so I thought it was pretty funny.
So did you use that small little bit of connection when you reached out to him? Is that how you did it?
Yes. So I was always at games, and my poster, one of them said like, "Don't leave a Michigan girl hanging," because So and then we talked about it in the interview as well, like Michigan and how much we both love it. So yeah, it's just really about like reaching out, staying consistent, and the worst I can get is a no.
Yeah,
so.
right. So we're going to play the clip, but before we do, how many times did you show up at a game with a sign before it all finally clicked?
Oh man, I don't have an exact number, but a ballpark is like 10 maybe.
Yeah. So
I was
being
always there.
consistent and showing up,
Yeah.
like that's
Yes, and
what
don't
you
give
did.
up. Yeah.
Let's
not giving
watch a
up.
little bit of that. Here we go.
Thanks for coming. This is the example of hard work. You know, it's probably been a few months now of, you know, people sending me the video of you, send me the video of you, and then, you know, I'm glad it came to life.
Yeah, me too. So thank you so much. And also, as someone who left West Michigan chasing a dream, it's inspiring to see how far you've taken yours.
Your turn.
Oh, that's sweet.
How cool is that?
So what is your dream? When he says your turn, what is your dream? What do you want to do?
Yeah, so my end goal is to be a sideline reporter and to have my own sports talk show.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, that's great. I mean, Big D might be able to make some
Sure.
room on
If
FT2.
there's, I mean, we are well known, Celeste and I, but this is the power player right here.
This
That's
is
who you want to get to know.
Yeah,
that guy
you've
right
got to
there.
really well, he's from Washington, so the Michigan thing won't work.
Yeah,
but you got to
not
find
this
something
time.
else.
Hey, I've been to Seattle. I've been
My-
to Seattle, so maybe
My
that would
mom
help.
went to Ohio State, so she won't
no.
love that. But my aunt went to Michigan, so
Oh,
Oh,
there
we
you go.
welcome you.
Okay. Let's play some of these others here. I think this is just video, no sound, but it's the Mike Tyson highlight. Brian, I'm going to go ahead and roll this. I think it's 2.4. Let's go. Yeah, there. It's you and how'd you line up Tyson, and what did you talk about?
Yeah, so I actually got invited to the event. It was a gala. So I got invited to it, and I was like, well, I see Mike Tyson sitting right there. I was like, how can I get him outside to talk to me? And so we met his best friend, and I was like, well, you know, if you can get Mike Tyson for me, like that would be huge. And sure enough, he walks through those doors, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I said, hi, I'm Brayanna, and he was like, oh, I know who you are. And hearing that from Mike Tyson himself, I'm still shocked about it because it's Mike Tyson. Like, he's like the biggest face of boxing, so it was just crazy. And we were just talking about like his gala because, I mean, he's been asked so many questions throughout the years, so I didn't want to have anything that was he's been asked before. So I was just asking questions about his gala and the charity that we were attending.
Do you hear an echo right now?
I do. I
Celeste?
think Dave's mic
Echo.
is hot, and I think Brian's working on
Oh,
it.
is
There
that
you go.
what it
Thank
is?
you,
Okay.
Brian.
But how do you get the biggest interviews, and yet you seem so kind of calm, cool, and collected? How do you do that when you're talking to these superstars?
I don't even know. I think it like comes natural to me. Like it's like my calling, so I don't
Okay.
get so nervous, which is kind of crazy that I think about it. I look at all these interviews that I've done, and I'm like, how was I not like stuttering or like just nervous? Like,
Right.
yeah, I don't know honestly. I think
And
it's just the
sometimes a
passion.
little bit like, you know, when you're naive and you're young and you're like you said, all the worst they can say is no. You just go for it.
Yeah.
Right? You end up in some big time rooms.
Yeah, and when Celeste is talking about naive, she's talking about me. On an everyday basis, just trying to plug
I'm talking
through,
about both of us.
act like I know what I'm doing.
We just show up ready to have fun and have a great day. That's kind of like what you
Yeah.
have to do,
Yes,
right?
exactly,
And
yeah.
and so take us through. So you had a microphone in that interview with Mike Tyson. So were you already doing interviews out there, or did you like walk us through that?
Yeah, so I'm always ready. I always have my mic in the microphone because it like takes off the part. So I'm always ready. It's always on. And my videographer, he's always rolling. He's always ready. And I was doing an interview. I was interviewing his best friend at the time because they have so many memories and good stories. So that's what I was doing, but I always keep it ready.
Yeah, that's so good.
One of the reasons we wanted to bring you on today is to talk Cardinal football. I know you're a huge
Oh, yes, I
Cardinal
am.
fan. What's your take on what are the big storylines going to be this year for the Cardinals? Big game tomorrow, Saturday,
Yeah.
preseason, but still it's the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
What's your take on the 2026 Cards?
Well, I think there's a lot of storylines already happening. We're talking about the quarterbacks, the offense. It's very tough in the receivers room right now, very competitive. But I'm just excited to see this season. It's going to be excited. I know I said excited, but it is going to be an exciting season. I know that there's a lot of critics saying, oh, it's the Cardinals, same year again. But you know what? We have exciting names. We have Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., James Conner. We have multiple quarterbacks to choose from at this point. So I think it's going to be a great year. And I know it's the Cardinals, but I love the Cardinals, so I'm always optimistic.
Well, and I feel like whenever you remember, Ron, when they ASU was at the bottom of the rankings a couple years ago, and then they won the Big 12 championship.
Right.
It's exactly like
I
that.
feel like when you're on the bottom, the only way to go is up.
Yeah,
so,
that's exactly right.
So, you know, there is what you're saying is true. You know, maybe they're going to have, maybe you'll be their lucky charm, Brianna.
Yes.
By the way, here's a little clip where Brianna's talking baseball.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, I love baseball. Okay, I've been to a few Diamondbacks games and also spring training games, and I've had a lot of fun. Like, I went to the game on June 4th where Vargas and Max Muncy literally ran into each other, and that was absolutely insane to see for me because I'm like, what just happened? Like, and I have
my
a video,
gosh.
as you guys can see.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
What do you think about Ketel Marte? Ron, do we have time? Can we keep
the mystery, the Cattell mystery?
Yeah, we have like a
gotta-
minute left.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure in baseball, especially because they play so many games. So, I mean, whenever
That's
he
a good
shows up,
point.
we'll understand. Maybe
Yeah.
he'll tell us one day.
Okay, 30 seconds left now. Are we going to have a quarterback controversy this year with the Cardinals? What's your prediction?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I think we will because Carson Beck, he's young. He stayed an extra year in college for a reason. I think in his NFL debut, we saw why. But, you know, he is hurt right now, unfortunately. But Brissett, we'll see if he's our ultimate guy or if it's Carson Beck.
Yeah, you have Brissett, who's like older,
Yep,
Yeah.
more
veteran.
mature,
Sure.
right? And then you have Beck, the young.
The
Yep.
promising
Up-and-comer.
rookie?
Yeah.
This has really been fun.
Okay,
Come
what
back
is
and see us
what is your
sometime.
Instagram handle?
It's Bryanna.sports, Bryanna, and then
Oh.
.sports.
Great
Okay.
content. Great content.
right.
Nice to meet you in
Nice to meet
person,
you.
Brianna.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks,
for coming in.
Brianna. Okay, break time. And then we're going to come back with the greatest art heist in world history.
Wow.
After the break. Well, that was fun chatting with Brayanna, wasn't it,
Oh my
Celeste?
gosh, Ron, she's so great. You know, listen to this one comment. One Way Street says probably makes dating life with her easy with conversations talking about sports on dates. Ha ha.
Oh, for goodness
You
sakes, yeah. Well, there was that one time I was hanging out with Devin Booker or Mike Tyson.
And then it was like, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
can we go on a second date? That's probably what the guy is saying. That's pretty cool.
By the way, she is straight out of the East Valley, went to Higley High School.
Yeah.
So she's the pride of Higley High for
She's
sure.
pretty amazing.
So, Celeste, one of the things we do like to do here on the program is if there are great stories to talk about, great stories in history,
Yes.
things that happened on this day, well, we roll right into it. And so it was on this day 115 years ago, Celeste, that the greatest art heist of all time happened.
What was that?
Ready? Here, let's roll it. Because, Celeste, look at this. You and I are the detectives on the case.
This is brilliant.
To me, this is unbelievable, but it was August 21st of the year 1911, 115 years ago. The most famous art theft in history happened at the Louvre. You know, they're still trying to figure it out all these years
they
later.
Are.
The thief was Vincenzo Perugia, who was a handyman from Italy who had done some work at the Louvre, and it just aggravated the heck out of him that the Mona Lisa, which he thought belonged back in Italy, remember, it was, obviously produced in Italy,
Yeah.
Michelangelo, and so he stole it, but he never really had a plan for what to do with it once he stole it. But here's the part of the story. In fact, I think we have a couple of pictures from back in the day, Celeste.
Wow.
It wasn't until the next day. So what happened is he put on a smock like he was working in the museum. It was the day they were closed, the day of the week, on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
He comes walking in like he sort of owns the place, picks up the Mona Lisa, shoves it in his clothing, and walks right out.
His clothing.
And he had the smock
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
And it wasn't even discovered missing until the next day. The Mona Lisa
Unbelievable.
was gone, and he took it, he stole it, he kept it in his apartment in Paris, just literally blocks away from the museum for 2 years while they struggled to try to figure out what had actually happened to the world's most famous painting.
It was so close.
Yeah.
2 blocks?
Right? Oh, a few blocks.
A few
Yeah.
blocks.
So anyway, it was not. So here's what happens. This is great because here's the way it all kind of wrapped up in this particular case. Look, they got to be happy that they finally found it. It was 2 years later that he contacted an art dealer in Florence and offered to them to return the painting to Italy. The director of the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, the famous art gallery there, was the one who called the cops and said, this guy got a hold of me, and I know you've been looking for it for 2 years. Let's get this case cracked and get it. And honestly did the right thing and said, it now belongs to the Louvre. Let's solve it. Let's get it back where it belongs.
That's amazing.
Isn't it?
Yeah. What a story, too. 115 years ago,
Yeah.
you didn't have the cameras or the security type stuff that they do now.
Sure.
So this guy just put it in his smock and took off.
I know, but it's just like this.
That's a big painting, though, to just put inside your clothing or your smock.
That's an interesting point, Celeste, because I don't even think now, when you go to the Louvre nowadays,
Yeah.
I don't even think it's in a frame that big. It feels to me when you walk up to it, it's been a long, long time since I was
Yeah.
there, and the crowds are like epic. You literally have to wade through 200 or 300 or 400 people.
Wow, to
just
get
up there,
close.
to try to get close enough to get a picture.
Do they? Oh, yeah. My
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah. It looks
So-
like a big size, though.
Anyway, great work, and the art heist of all time.
Great
happened
work.
on this
Great
day.
work on behalf of the detectives.
Yes.
By the way, Emperor Ivan says, if it was in color, that photo that AI created of us
let's go back. Let's look at it again
says,
one more time. Yes.
I would look like Carmen Sandiego. Remember that show?
Yeah.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? It was a great
Exactly.
show.
Well, I love you with the, with all of your detective gear, right?
I have very sophisticated tools.
Yes, you do. But I'm way too happy in this one.
I think it's because you know that it's a few blocks away.
Okay. Speaking of great work on the part of, law enforcement, etc., and in this case, the military. I don't know at home if you guys have seen this video yet, but Celeste, what happened out at sea just here in the last few weeks? And now we have the video. See the two guys there on the blue thing out there in the ocean waters? That's the cooler. Their ship sank. A couple of fishermen, one in his 50s, one in his 30s. Do you know how long they were out there hoping to get rescued?
How long were they out there?
5 days.
Wow, just sitting on the cooler? Imagine just battling the winds at sea, animals at sea, just all kinds of different things that you don't even hardly think about, can even fathom.
Right.
The
Okay,
storms.
so it was these two guys were out there 150 miles off the coast. And they were last heard from on August 14th when they got onto their fishing vessel. But the Navy got involved after some other fishermen requested their help. I don't know about the men's family, but thank goodness they did. And I don't know how eventually they spotted them. But you would, after like 3 days of no food or water, I don't know, maybe they had a little bit of food or water still in the cooler. But you would tend to kind of give up hope if you're floating out there, right?
Maybe they had like some snacks, Mexican snacks from like the panaderia or something. You know what I mean?
All right, it's quite possible, Celeste.
I'm trying to imagine these guys. What would they have? A pan dulce? They would have maybe some bolillos,
Okay,
some
tell
bread.
us what you're talking about, Celeste.
Like a Mexican pastry with like a candy topping.
Oh, good.
Yeah, or maybe like some Mexican bread rolls.
Well, see, if their wives helped them to pack before they went, they probably had a lot of food.
Right? Yes, and the Mexican candies from the candy store.
Ooh, I do love those. All right, so all's well that ends well. You wouldn't want to be
well
seasick.
Done.
I mean, somehow they did survive 5 days and nights out there on the open ocean. So that really was pretty incredible. Now, Celeste, the other thing you and I have been talking about this week is this trend for beautiful food.
Yeah.
I understand the trend because it's so expensive. Everything is so expensive now that I think people are fixing more food at home.
Yep.
And not going out to restaurants so much.
Right. And so you're maybe seeing something on social media and you're like, hey, that looks really good. I'm going to try making that.
Yes.
And that's kind of what has really spurred a lot of different types of meals, like pickles, pickle chips, and a lot of pickled items at home. That has, I think pickles have gone up by 30% or something like that, the interest.
Really? Okay.
Hot honey. That's another one that has kind of people put hot honey on ricotta, and you can have it with pita chips, or they put it on pizza.
Right.
Hear about hot honey everywhere.
Okay, so I don't know if. Oh, would you look at this? Now,
These are the veggies.
the thing is, it's all about the presentation, Celeste.
Lots of bright colors, Ron.
This is really pretty incredible.
So I have been roasting a lot of vegetables lately, and I'll just keep them in the fridge for a few days, and I'll make kind of like a Greek yogurt dip or something like that.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah,
like a semi-homemade like little or like a tabbouleh or a hummus or something like that, or tzatziki with the Greek yogurt. But there is something about, I think, when you have. I've been using ChatGPT to do it.
Oh, is that right?
So this is what I did, because all of you, got so frustrated with trying to figure out what I was going to make. I'm like, I went to ChatGPT and said, I need an anti-inflammatory diet. Give me a 5-day meal plan. Okay. It gave it to me, and then it said, would you like me to give you a Costco grocery list? And I said, yes, please. And so then it said, well, if you don't want to shop at Costco, here's a grocery list. And then it gave me the meal plan and the directions on how to make them and when to prep them. And it said, would you like me to give you how to prep this in 90 minutes on a Sunday? And I said yes. So I did, and it was amazing.
That is amazing.
And so I was able to roast veggies and roast sweet potatoes and all these other things in 90 minutes.
Can I just tell you that when I've done that a couple of different times, you know what I ask? if I'm even going to venture into the kitchen, I'm like, give me a recipe idea that's 4 ingredients or less.
That's actually not a bad idea. Like,
Right?
maybe you throw in there, I got a pound of ground beef. That's what you put in chat. What can I make with it?
Yeah.
So what are you doing here, Ron?
Okay, so there I am in my bare feet in the kitchen. I am making I think it was like a 4 ingredient list, but you started with a colander like that.
Okay.
And you brought in a bunch of tomatoes.
Okay.
And so it's supposed to be super chunky with the tomatoes, and it's a
Yum.
spaghetti sauce.
Yeah.
And there were a few other items that I had put into it, but it took a lot of extra time. But then the grandkids, they're my sounding board, Celeste. They loved it. So I thought it probably was worth giving it a try.
I think you have a famous spaghetti sauce that you're always talking about.
Well, the thing about that, though, is it's like 8 ingredients.
Oh,
And,
that's
you know,
too many sometimes.
By the end of the week in this job that we're in, you're like, just give me the simplest thing I can make.
Yeah, you
And
just
so,
or you just give me something super simple because I don't have time for anything else.
Right.
You know, we do have, speaking of the Mexican Navy
Oh, yes.
rescue,
Yeah.
AZ Raider says maybe they had some chicharrones.
Ah,
You know,
Yeah.
there's so many different things that I wonder if they had out there on the boat that helped them.
Okay.
What's your favorite snack? What would you like to have out there that would keep you alive for 5 days?
I would go Fritos.
That was fast.
Well, I mean, I don't. It's not. It's a no-brainer for
Yeah.
me. I can't stop eating them. If I open a bag of Fritos, I have to finish the whole bag.
Yeah. So they're corn chips. Do you consider them kind of like? Is it like a tortilla chip, or are they own category of corn chip? Or they're not potato chips?
Celeste, these deep thoughts, it really confuses me. The other thing I should mention, though, is peanuts.
This guy
Did you-
likes chips.
I
probably.
love this story so much. So this is a guy who notices there's a raccoon underneath the stands at a ball game somewhere. And watch. Look,
Oh.
the raccoon is using his little claws. Now, here's the funniest part of all. Look at this.
They're feeding him.
Yeah. There's like a part of a hot dog left over. And the raccoon says,
my
thank you very
gosh.
much.
Well, he loves baseball. I'm sure he's a big D-backs fan.
Hopefully.
This little guy.
Wow.
All right. Thank you for watching, everyone. We are so appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Ty and Anita are next.
Welcome on in. It is 11 o'clock on your Friday afternoon.
Jam-packed.
It sure is.
Always.
We want to start with this. We're getting some breaking news out of Los Angeles. There is a police chase underway as we speak. So these are live images from L.A. We're learning right now that this is a burglary suspect that the LAPD is currently looking for. And this is in the San Fernando Valley. But you can see it looks like maybe a black Honda. Going over 80 miles an hour as we speak.
Yeah, so this started in North Hollywood around 10:15 this morning. So they're a little bit behind us, right?
Mm-hmm.
The suspect driving that black Honda, thank you, sedan, continues, as you can see, to lead officers across the valley just before 11, so exactly an hour ago. Suspect attempted to get on the 405 freeway going in the wrong direction in Granada Hills. 405, if any of you have ever been out to LA, is one of the busy, every freeway out there is busy, but that one's always like a parking lot. Made a U-turn and then continued back southbound.
All right, so we're watching this guy. He was kind of driving over there in the median or like the side lane for a while. Looks like he's now getting off onto surface streets, and it always makes me so nervous when we see these police chases and they get off of the highway onto the surface streets because obviously they're a lot busier. There's pedestrians out there. I'm also looking to see if there's any, they call them black and whites in LA, the police cars behind them.
Okay.
And I don't see anybody immediately
Wow,
following
okay.
him. They might just be looking and following him
By
from
the
the
chopper.
air. Yeah.
What I always think is interesting, there's another chopper. Did you see that? Another PD. Oh, here we go. This is going to be interesting. I wonder if this person's going to get out and run now. But has stopped. I always appreciate that they post the speed and watch because it gives you a real perspective of what's happening. But again, this is a robbery suspect. I wonder, do you think he's getting into another car right now?
I don't
Possibly.
know. I'm trying to figure out if that was
There
him
we go.
walking out.
There's a person walking out right now. Coincidentally, it might be that person. But we didn't see anyone else walking out. Oh, there he is.
Is
he
that
getting
him getting
gas?
gas?
He's getting gas, you guys. He's getting gas.
That is wild.
That is wild.
I've never seen someone
He
stop a police
So we have
chase
a
to get
robbery
gas.
suspect leading police on a
There he
chase.
is, just filling up.
And he actually stopped. You know he's stealing the gas. Wait,
Well,
can
don't
you?
you have to put your?
You have to put your credit card
he
in
didn't even
first.
put the thing back. He just dropped it on the ground.
Oh, you guys.
I wonder if he actually was able
I
to
don't
get
think
any
he
gas
got
in
a lot
that
of
amount.
gas
Yeah,
in
I was going to
there.
say in that amount of time.
I'm very worried for this individual.
Linda is saying that California is our time. All right,
Okay,
our
thank
mistake,
you, Linda. I can't remember when it switches. I know it goes to 1 hour. Maybe you're right, in the wintertime. Thanks, Linda. Appreciate it. Now he's picking up speeds, and we'll see how fast he goes. I mean, some of these guys go about 100 miles an hour trying to flee.
This is just wild. I really would love to know if he actually was able to get any gas from that station before he took off again.
I thought that was a parking
I did too.
structure. I didn't think that was a gas station.
Huh.
That takes a lot of
Chutzpah.
to stop at a gas station. I'm not trying to make light of this situation in any way, but we have seen and watched so many of these police pursuits, if you call it that, because you're right, we don't see any black and whites pursuing him. It's just a chopper. We have seen so many of these. Never have I seen anyone pull over to get gas and gas up to keep fleeing. I thought for sure he was going to make a run for it.
And this is what I mean when I say I get really nervous because he is going over 60 miles an hour and now like these residential streets. You don't know. He's just going
Blowing
right
the
through
stop
stop
sign.
signs. This is when it gets really dicey for these individuals.
Okay, this has been going on since 10:15 this morning, California and Arizona time, so almost a full hour. And just about 3-4 minutes ago, we're being told that suspect was on the 405 going the wrong direction north in the southbound lanes, made a U-turn, and then continued on. So interesting if this person knows the area and is looking to get to a specific destination.
That's what I was wondering. Does he know where he's at right now, or is he just kind of out there driving around for the heck of it?
You almost kind of want to keep watching it.
I know.
It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave is going to continue monitoring this for us. So
Okay.
if there's anything that happens
Dave.
in the meantime, he's going to let us know, and then we, of course, will break. Well, what's happening now?
Now he's U-turning again.
See,
Perhaps
this is
that
what
was it. I
happens. You never know what's
I
going to happen
know.
with these because it's just
I
wild to
know.
watch, isn't it?
You want to go through what we're reading, or
Yeah.
just
Let's do that. We'll do that. What we're reading, and again, they're going to continue to watch this for us. So if anything happens
hold
in the
on.
meantime,
It's kind of hard to stop
I
watching.
know it is hard to stop watching.
What do they call it? Like a train wreck? You just can't stop watching. And
But
again,
look,
not
it's going
making light of
so
it in any way.
fast in these
Wow.
Looks like the alleyway between the two major thoroughfares there.
Doesn't look like there's a freeway anywhere. Oh, watch it. Okay. That worries me. It doesn't look like there's a freeway anywhere nearby, so we'll keep you guys posted. Very quickly, first story that you guys are reading online, child porn felon wearing Barbie backpack while stalking school zones is nabbed in a SWAT standoff. This happened in Gilbert. So this is a story we did not have this morning on the air, but as you can see, that is the suspect. He was on that e-bike. His name is Gibrion Alvarez, and barricaded himself inside his home. Police were able to get him out, though.
This is another kind of wild story that we have been following for you for the past couple of days. There is an arrest warrant now issued for a man in connection to that murder of a Tucson police recruit. This all happening down in the Tucson area. They now have identified the individual as Alex James Barnett. He is wanted in the deadly shooting of a Tucson police recruit as well as his fiancee. Barnett is 33. He's described as bald with distinctive arm tattoos. He was last seen wearing a red shirt and black leather vest while riding a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. So they want to stop him, but they are saying that he is armed and dangerous. So if you do see him, do not approach him. Call 911.
A lot of people probably got an alert letting them know that this person was out there and that they're looking for him. Number 3, Tesla driver blames self-driving tech for 80-mile-per-hour work zone DUI hours before auditioning at a Phoenix church. He was going 80 and a 55. Crew members were present, said that the car was in self-driving mode, had a few beers, a couple of handguns within easy reach of the vehicle, failed a field sobriety test, refused a breathalyzer, and was arrested. He was missing his morning interview to become a church musician.
Wow.
Well, hallelujah.
That's something. All right, real quick. I want to go back to this because they now have the police right on his tail. This is that burglary suspect in Los Angeles that we're watching. And again, you can see that they now have the police right on his tail here. So again, we're going to continue to monitor this. If there's any changes in this scene unfolding in Los Angeles, we will let you know. But there you can see them as they kind of zoom out. There's two individuals right behind him. It looks like they've got their lights and sirens on as well.
I don't think he's listening.
I don't think
this is the same fashion in which our next guest chases down all the critters.
There you go. We had him on last time, and we had so much fun that we're like, please come back. You have all sorts of great stories. We've got Vernon here with us. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thanks for having us.
But here's the thing. Since your last visit here, you were featured in People magazine.
Yeah.
There's like the circulate. I should Google it. There's like 10 million people who read People magazine.
Yes, I thought it was for most handsome man or band of the year, and it was for critter catcher guy, so it was more appropriate, but I'll take what I can get. So they reached out to us and wanted to do a quick interview.
How did they find you?
It's we've been posting to social media a lot this year. Has been one of our goals to just kind of get our name out there, and we got picked up by People. An interviewer called us up out of the blue. Thought it was a scam at first.
I was like,
what do you say when someone says, "Hey, it's People magazine"?
Yeah, it was like, I'm driving my truck in the desert right now, about to go catch a snake. Just People, you want to talk to me? Okay. Yeah, let's talk.
Sure.
So that was that, and we set up a time and went through a few questions, and next thing you know, I got an email notification saying, hey, your article is going to go up tomorrow. If you want to check it out, here's your link. I was like, and it actually was People magazine.
So here's the thing, when you look at it, because I have the link, it actually shows the pictures and I think some of our article as well.
Yes, it does.
Which I thought was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Because it was such a great piece. That was when there was a bobcat in the attic.
Yes.
Of that house,
Yeah.
Yep, the bobcat in the attic house. We had a lot of people asking us to talk about that bobcat in the attic, and it just kept going and going and going. And it got to the point where I was like, I really have to get back to work now. I can't go back and take another interview about the bobcat. But yeah, it was a pretty cool story. I was glad that we got some attention from it.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, isn't it?
Do you get recognized now everywhere?
At the grocery store, yeah.
You
the
do?
lady that
We're
checks my
dealing
bag,
with
she's like,
rats.
did I
People
see
want to
you on
know,
TV?
where are
And
they
I was
coming
like,
from?
You catch them out in line.
And one
in
of
the
the
truck with you. I was like, no, it's not in the vehicle. Just so sometimes when I'm at the gas station, grocery store, things like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, little recognition here and there.
All right, so you sent us this video,
Yes.
What the heck is going on here?
What?
This looks like some sort of weird crime scene you're dealing with.
It was. This was a call where the lady swore there was somebody breaking into her house and moving stuff around, and I told her it was probably an animal. And so what we did was we set up boxes with that UV chalk that we talked about last time, and we just put some food in it, and then we came back with a black light to see if there was any tracks running through the house. And there was little pitter-patter and paw prints along the bottom of the chairs, and she was like yelling at her daughter. She was like, "You guys must be having parties when I'm not here, like nobody's tidying up, like where's my shirt?" Turns out the rats were just hanging out.
Oh no, you
and that
didn't.
was in her bathroom?
And then it came right up through the toilet.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, with water in it?
Yeah, it came right up through the toilet. So that was actually a sewer rat. It looked like a Halloween decoration at first. It kind of was startled by me. I was kind of startled by it. And it was just kind of hanging out there. So we went over, it's okay there, Mr. Rat. We're just going to get you out of this bathroom here, and that was the end of that one. But they come in through all different types of places. The UV tracking powder is an awesome tool though, because it illuminates how they're getting in. So, and then this one, everybody's calling me Darth Vader because sometimes people don't understand when I'm trying to do my job and record at the same time. I don't have a lot of hands on me, so I was using those new glasses that record. I had it on the edge of my nose, but people were savages in those comment sections. It got quite a bit of attention, like 3-4 million views.
The first thing I have to give you kudos for is that you're wearing booties in someone's house.
Gotta wear the booties.
It jumped out. You missed it. All right.
Yes.
We have to take a quick break, but you want to play along. We do a game every day. What year was it? So this is our poll question here, or rather our question. Hawaii enters the Union, becoming the 50th state of the United States.
Yeah.
Dave, these are getting hard.
That's my answer
It was
too.
before Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so I'm going to go 31. I have no idea. All right, put your guesses in. Oh, I was way off. Anita already guessed.
I'm not guessing.
Okay. We'll be right back.
Big reveal.
All right, here's the answer. 1959
Okay,
is
good
when
job.
Hawaii entered the Union, becoming the 50th state in the United States. I was way off.
We have a lot of good guesses.
Yeah, we
And a
do.
lot of people saying 59. We went to, Verner mentioned Pearl Harbor. We went there in January. It leaves you speechless, man.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, if you can get out there, definitely do so. So Verner's with us, Critter Evictor.
Critter Evictor.
How long have you been doing this?
About 10 years now.
Wow, cool.
So walk me through your career trajectory. You're like, this is what I want to do. I
Yeah.
want to get these critters out of people's homes for
Yeah.
them. How did that
Actually-
start?
Someone has to.
Someone
It's
does,
not
yeah.
going to be me.
That's what my in-laws said. So when I said, "Can I have your daughter's hand in marriage?" and she's like, "The critter guy is gonna marry my daughter," and I was like, yeah, "Someone's got to do the job. Someo's got to do it, Gene." So that was
Is
me.
Jean, is
Yeah,
Jean
Jean.
the
Jean's
mother-in-law?
My mother-in-law. Yeah,
Is she
yeah,
watching?
yeah.
Shout out, Jean.
Hi,
Yeah,
Jean.
shout out, Gene. I actually came out here to build artificial hearts and lungs for bypass at Midwestern University and just completely switched gears. I grew up in a small farm town area. I love driving trucks. I like hanging out with animals, and I just like fixing things. So when I just decided to put those three elements together, boom. Critter Evictors
That's cool.
was,
And you pretty much
that
work
was,
solo. Do you have a team now
we do
as
have
you're
a
growing?
team now. Yeah, we've got really good three individuals that are helping us out every single day, and then we're looking for a fourth and a fifth right now. So there's a lot of calls out here. We have a lot of development going on right now, and so as they continue to build, all of the cactus that come down, all of the brush that comes down, well, there's stuff living in those things, and they need somewhere else to go. You put a house right in that same environment, I guess the animals go, I live here now,
Yeah.
and so they decide they're going to come back in. So that's generally how that shakes out.
I want to ask you this. Obviously, you've been doing this for a long time. Is there one call where you're like, oh boy,
I can't do it.
or not? I can't
Yeah.
do it.
I
but,
remember
like, I
last
don't
time you
wanna
talked
do that.
about
Yeah.
really what was it, a raccoon? I call them raccoons.
The raccoon, yes. Snakes is not something that I was native to, rattlesnakes especially. I grew up in upstate New York, so when people would call me with a snake problem, I'd be like, I'm 6 weeks out, man. I can't get out there, or I charge by the inch. I just am not doing it. So then
It's $1,000 an inch.
I just don't want it. And it was just in my own head. But then we hired some people who were Arizona natives, and they're like, come on, dude, I'll show you what's up. And so we hung out with them, and we kind of like came over that fear. So now we'll go in there, we'll grab them, and I'll do the same. So it was one of those biggest things that it was like, all right, I want to overcome this, and we just hang out with the right people, and we've overcame that. So now whenever we get a phone call, I feel pretty confident with it. But back in the day, if you had
The
a snake problem,
snakes.
don't talk to me about it. I don't
Not
want
Verner,
nothing to do with it.
It's so hot outside. Are they very active right now, the animals, or is this like
yes.
your slow season?
No, we're getting a lot of calls right now because just like us, it's shade. So when you see somebody parking 20 miles away from the grocery store just to park under that little tree
Yeah.
to keep the car under shade, the critters are doing the exact same thing. If they can get under a house, if they can get under a roof line and break that UV up, that's what they're looking for. Also gives them protection. So we don't have really a short or a slow season until December when the holiday times come. But then you'll get people living in other parts of the house where nobody spends time at night, and they'll be like, hey, you got something scratching in your walls at night.
Something's going on.
So after holidays, then we'll get busy again.
You do this in a really humane way, which I think was so
Absolutely.
interesting, because you think critter, like trap, you have to trap, but you evict.
Correct.
And you do things like the glow in the dark.
Glow in the dark. Yeah, so we don't
Powder.
use poison. We don't use rodenticides, nothing like that. That doesn't discriminate. Anything eats it, it's going to get whacked. So what we do is everything is mechanical, 100% mechanical. We'll flush them out with one-way doors, but the big thing is to seal and envelope the house so that they can't get in the first place. And that's what we focus on.
So rats, snakes, Gila monsters.
Rat, snakes, every now and again you'll get a Gila monster, things like that. But the home invaders, the usual suspects out here, roof rats, sewer rats are big now. The raccoons, squirrels, they're another big problem. And those are usually the high on the hit list. Every now and again, we'll get somebody that's, we had a lady call in, her pet python was lost. And then we had a plumber working next door, and I was like, what are you guys doing
Stop
here?
it.
The python was stuck down the drain, and so they were running the camera down, and I was like, oh, we found your snake. That's why she can't flush her toilet.
Was it
And
alive?
yeah, it was. They can live for a long time without food or water. So it wasn't happy, but it was alive. So we were able to pop that thing out of there. But that was where the python went.
We were talking about raccoons, and we have this really cute video that we want to share with you.
Did you see this?
This is
see this, yes.
Look at his little hand come up.
what baseball park is this, you guys? City Field.
City Field.
And so
yep.
there's just sitting there enjoying the game, and they notice this hand coming up.
Yep.
And this is what cracks me up the most, is that he reaches back up, or she.
And they're trying to look. This is what I love. They gave him a whole hot dog. They're
my
like,
God.
there you go. That's a prize.
I imagine you would say,
I'm getting under that bleacher. I gotta go check this out. Yeah.
you would go under there. Don't feed the critters.
Don't feed the critters. Yep. It's generally, if somebody's feeding the birds next door and then the neighbor's got 10,000 birds and all the other things that come with birds living on your property, somebody's always pointing the finger like, they feed them. I know they feed them.
Yeah.
Or somebody's feeding the cats. That's why I got a skunk out here, and it's not happening in a vacuum. If you're bringing food to the table, there's no guest list here. Anybody can show up. Yeah, you're going to get raccoons, skunks, you're going to get whatever. So keep wildlife wild, keep your house, make sure it's nice and tight. And yeah, if there's food source attractants, get those off the table unless you want to have things like little grippy hands
coming out.
That is hilarious, isn't it?
Buddy. Yeah.
I mean, I love that you post this online and you said that there's like some real estate agents are like, dude,
don't
because people are not going to want to buy our homes when they know that there's
absolutely.
I still can't get over this rat.
Yeah,
I can't because
that-
Ty has a mouse.
No. He's been gone for a while
Wow.
now,
Oh,
and I'm
really?
hoping, knock on wood, that he's
Done. He's gone.
He's moved.
He got the message.
He got the message.
The eviction notice was up. I'm out of here.
But now I'm freaked out about these.
I am too.
Yeah.
They
Because
live-
we have people in our vicinity. We don't have any critters or any rats.
Yes.
We had some ants for like a day, but that was handled. But the rats have made their way over into our cars, and they'll chew on they get in the
they love
hood.
to chew on
A
stuff.
couple of them, like my car and my husband's car. And I one day came home and I saw this rat under my husband's car, and I told him, I said, "There's rats again," and he's like, "Yeah, it'll be fine." And then a couple weeks later, his car wouldn't start. I'm like, "Well, serves you right." But they build nests in there. But I mean, how do they get in the house?
Yeah.
How do they get in the toilet?
They get in through, if their head can go through the hole, the rest of the body just slips
Yeah.
right in. Not even a struggle. And the interesting thing is that their teeth never stop growing. So under the hood of your husband's car, where they have hard casings on wires, they chew, and it shapes their teeth so that they can continue to fit them in their face and bite and eat things. So that's what they do. They chew on just random things to shape their teeth. Back to the toilet thing, as we mentioned, it's like most people are scrolling on their phones while they're sitting on the toilet, and it's like, I gotta get up now, like it's time to go. I'm done with Scottsdale, and then we'll, like I said, have realtors reach out to us, be like, you got to stop posting things of like rats coming out the toilets because we're having a hard time selling houses. People are asking us about toilet rats.
When there's water in it.
When there's water in it, so they can tread water for days. They're built like tanks, and I don't want to put the rats on a pedestal, but the day you start underestimating the rats, the day you don't sleep at night. And
Really?
so it takes quite a bit to get on top of them. There is a science to it, but yeah, they are tanks. They can live in all different types of environments.
If there's one, there's more.
They're sometimes solitary, but they are colonial as well. So it's not uncommon for us to evict 10, 20 rats, but we also get one rat inside of the attic, and it sounds like an elephant up there. No, it's just that one.
It's just that one rat.
Noise.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on the
Thank
People
you. I
article.
appreciate it.
Please
Thank you.
come back because we
Oh,
really
thanks for
love
having
having
me
you.
come through.
Yeah.
I appreciate
We'll
it.
see
That
you
was
soon.
fun.
All
Good
right.
to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Tell Dad hi.
I will.
Yeah.
Thank
Dad
you.
came last
Dad
time. He was
and
off
Dad.
camera visiting.
All right, real quick, we're going to go back out to the police chase that we have been following for you in L.A., and it looks like he might be in a parking garage, so we're still waiting to get information. Dave is going to continue to monitor this, so if anything else pops up in the meantime, we'll let you know.
Okay, our next guest, Emilio, is joining us. Emilio Sáenz, hello to you.
Hi.
You reached out with an email that I thought was really fascinating. Unfortunately, we only have a few minutes left, but tell us a little bit about what you're doing and what you're trying to help other people with.
Sounds good. Yeah, my name is Emilio Sáenz. I'm a junior at Phoenix Country Day School in Paradise Valley, and I created a business called Impactfully, which is an 8-week program structured to help teenagers aged mostly 12 through 18 to build meaningful community solutions to problems they feel strongly about. And I started this because I actually did my own project, and I learned so much, and I saw so many other kids wanting to learn how to do it, so I figured I would teach it.
Wow.
So how does this work then? What are some of the different projects?
Yeah, so it's an 8-week program, and the first thing that we do is we try to find your values, because a lot of high schoolers, for the pressure of starting a passion project, they just start, the first thing that comes to mind. But
So give us an example of what a value is.
So a value for me, for example, is I want to do something to help the Latino community in Phoenix. And I feel really strongly about that because, well, I'm Mexican and my parents immigrated here. So I wanted to help immigrants in Arizona. That's why I made my website, NaveganteAZ, which is a bilingual school finder that helps immigrant families in Arizona access bilingual education. and it's helped over 2,000 people since I launched.
Wow.
When'd you launch?
I launched it just at the end of last year, so December.
Good
That's
for you.
huge.
About 6-7 months. So then if a teen comes to you and says, I'm really passionate about
XYZ.
or feeding the hungry.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd say first we need to find the specific problem. So one teen is passionate about STEM education. I told her, that's cool, but it's broad. We need to find a specific community need. So we looked into physics programs and specifically the gap between really high-level physics programs that some schools are teaching, like the basis schools, etc., and other schools that kind of just give the rudimentary physics because they're under-resourced or whatnot. And so now we have the specific problem, which is the inequity between high-level physics education, and now that's something we can start working on. And so it's about finding niche issues that we can solve.
We need more people like
How
you
much
in the
does a
world.
program like this cost? How do teens afford it?
It's 8 weeks, costs $750, and 4 weeks costs $400.
And
but
you do one-on-one coaching with these
I
kids?
do, yes,
Wow.
one-on-one.
Look at you.
So
Good for you.
And they listen to you because you're one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
You're their peer. They're not.
That's the thing. There's college counselors that do similar things, try to help you find your passion projects, but they sometimes miss the mark because they don't know what it's like to be a high schooler.
Sure.
Having to send these cold emails to get on shows like
Yeah.
this one. And, I've done it. And
Well, it
that's
worked,
why I
right?
think
Here
it
you
worked.
are.
Amelia,
thank
we're
you,
running
guys.
out of time, but how do folks get more information about what you do?
Check out my website at impactfully.co. You can see it there. You can contact me and book a free call, and we can talk about how I might be able to help your teen find a real solution to their problem.
How old are
For
you?
16.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
We're going to have you come back, all right?
Yeah, in like 10
course.
years
when you're the president of the United States.
Thank you.
he'll be a little young, but okay.
No, I
Have
think
a
he
good
can do
weekend.
it.
Be
Thank
safe.
you so
Thank you. We'll
much.
be back, everyone.
Great job.
Here we are at 11:30. Ron and Des, a live view over the toasty city. Our Dean's Choice Cam today comes to us from Murray, Kentucky. And we are glad you're hanging out with us. We, Des, just in the last few minutes got a breaking story that I think is probably going to have an impact on, on a lot of Arizonans here, potentially for years to come.
Yeah, we just got a huge announcement. The Department of Interior has just released its new operating guidelines and the official record of decision here for the Colorado River operations. So essentially, this establishes a crucial 10-year decision framework here to stabilize both Lake Powell and Lake Mead. I think, initially the numbers may be a little disappointing. Arizona is taking a very big hit here, a reduction of 760,000 acre feet. That's a little hard, that number, I think, for many of us to put into perspective.
Right.
But when they break it down into percentages, it's about 27 to 30% of our state's entire Colorado River supply.
Well, I guess, thank goodness we have other river systems that hopefully provide some water to us, talking about the Gila and the Verde and the Salt, that kind of a thing. But, you're talking about pretty close to 30% of all the water that we get out of the Colorado. And by the way, this compares to California takes a 440 acre foot reduction. So ours is about almost double that. And Nevada only has to take a 50,000 acre feet reduction. So I was just trying to look into it and figure out why it seems so lopsided. But I guess the main reason is that we get 2.8, or we used to, up until now, get 2.8 million acre feet a year. Nevada only ever was taking about 300,000 acre feet. So about 10%. So percentage-wise, it hurts. There's no doubt about it with a 27 to 30% reduction. But percentage-wise, Nevada, for what they do pull out of the Colorado River, is not quite as bad as we are, but still, it just highlights how tough things are. And to this point, there are no reductions on the upper basin states, the Colorados, the Utahs, the Wyomings, that their argument is we're already in drought conditions, and we generally don't take a whole lot out of the Colorado River in the first place. So I don't know. The talk, Des, is that this is going to be one of those super El Nino winters, and we desperately need it. We need the biggest snowpack we've had in a very long time.
Yeah, we do. And, we're always talking about how Arizona is growing and the introduction of a lot of new data centers and, just how this is going to impact the future of the state. But,
right. Farming too, residential, et cetera. Hey, one other thing that's happening right now, let's go check on this live. There is a police chase that has been underway since at least 11 o'clock this morning. I think this goes into the 10 a.m. hour, and it's on the 405. Which, of course, this is the thing that always blows my mind, Des. It's on the 405. Isn't the 405 one of the most congested freeways in America?
Yeah, but you wouldn't think, though, how this driver's getting around.
I know.
This has been going on for a while here.
It's been a few years since I've been over in L.A. driving around, but it always feels like the roads are clogged up over there. But this guy seems to be having free, unfettered access. Now, he's over there on a access road, but it looks like they've got at least a couple of cruisers. Now, this is going to be a little bit difficult as this unfolds right here, because they've got to bring, there we go. Well, look at that chopper crew. This is our sister station over there, Fox 11 in L.A. They did a good job of just following this guy as he decides to get off the freeway, and that's where, of course, it could get even dicier. He's going to come out the other end of the freeway here at San Fernando Mission Boulevard, and who knows what he's got planned next. But anytime you're going to pull off into neighborhoods, that's obviously when the concern grows.
Mm-hmm. And usually we have like the speedometer there that's, able to tell us like what speeds the vehicle is reaching. So we don't have that right now. It doesn't, obviously probably some sense of speed maybe, but it doesn't seem all too excessive, not in the 100-mile per hour range maybe, because you see those two police officers are trailing that vehicle. But
interesting that they zoomed in for a moment there, because you could see the portion of the fender is flapping around there. I don't know what it was that caused that.
Oh, good eyes. Yeah.
And so did it just move around and move off that vehicle? I mean, that's going to be kind of dangerous.
Still flapping there, yeah.
So it looks to me like what he did, he or she, was to kind of pull a U-ey there, get off the freeway, do a loop around, get back on going the opposite direction, but now fully off the 405. And they're not wasting any time. They've got, what would you say, about 4 or 5 car lengths behind the guy, with another squad car and a third squad car as well, because his driving is somewhat erratic.
Yeah. And I'm sure this is a big concern right now in a moment like this as well, when we're seeing him, exiting off the highway, getting off that access road, and now going on to what looks like there, at least that small portion, kind of more residential, streets. And here he is, changing direction here, going up another residential area, it looks like maybe.
Oh, boy. Dave, what was that you were just telling us?
Let's try to fit in our wonderful guests and then come back.
Okay, yeah, sure. We'll keep an eye on it, that's for sure. And I'm sure at some point we are rolling on it. He is really slowing down now. So we will keep an eye on it. And we'll let you know about any new developments there on the 405. He's right back on the 405.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, we have a guest on Zoom to get to on this Friday morning. We've got Divya Iyer with us, the Senior Vice President and Consumer Savings Expert at GoodRx Health Insurance. You guys did a survey, and it showed that a lot of folks, yes, we have health insurance, but a high percentage, 26% of respondents, have at least one insurance coverage gap service that they're utilizing. So walk us through kind of what you learned in this survey and what it's showing us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
So people across the US and in Arizona are grappling with a growing issue known as underinsurance, where they may have some type of insurance coverage, but their out-of-pocket costs and bills are still very high and hard to manage. So the 26% stat that you quoted is absolutely correct, and that's nationwide. And in Arizona, it's actually even a little bit higher. So 31% of Arizonans have experienced at least one gap in their healthcare coverage, whether it's for prescription medications or other medical services and treatments. So what happens is, because of this, people can delay care, or they can skip medications, or unfortunately have to make some very difficult financial trade-offs. And we're seeing that in the data. So about 20%, or 1 in 5 Arizonans, reported delaying or skipping their healthcare because of cost.
So how do you guys jump into the void?
GoodRx is a leading consumer healthcare platform. We've been around for about 15 years and have helped Americans save over $85 billion since we were formed. We have a solution called GoodRx Companion. So for the many people in Arizona and across the country who are dealing with health insurance gaps.
Stand by. We're just going to take these live pics. It looks like they have finally wrapped up the police chase there in Southern California. We promised our viewers we'd get to that. And sure enough, the guy exited the vehicle, and it looks like it's all going to come to a successful ending.
Yeah, left the vehicle right there on the middle of the 405 and got out and started running. You immediately saw those officers swarm him and got him to the ground pretty quickly there.
Boy, yeah. I mean, you just wonder what goes through somebody's mind where they think they can outrun the police. I mean, I guess the guy possibly thought, and it looks like he was maybe only about 5 or 10 feet away from, but that's a tall enough wall. He was not going to get over that wall. I mean, he could have tried to shimmy himself over, but it looks like they've got him in cuffs, and boy, they were on that fast.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. Good job by law enforcement there.
Let's get back to Divya. Thank you for hanging on for just a minute. We're, when breaking news happens, we go to it live.
The
That's
fun
for
of
sure.
a live streaming show, Divya. We appreciate your
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
patience.
Well, I'm glad that Chase came to a good conclusion there.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to your point here. Let's just get into the nuts and bolts of it. Somebody's watching. They feel like they need a little more assistance. Give us sort of the specifics of how you can help and, how the system actually works.
For sure. So GoodRx Companion can help make healthcare costs more affordable and more predictable. So for your viewers and people across the country can go to goodrx.com/companion or go to the GoodRx app and they can very easily find it. For $14.99 a month, or it's $9.99 if they pay annually, they get more than 250 generic medications for free, and then hundreds more for under $10. Additionally, they get discounted telehealth care for $19 and additional savings on dental, vision, imaging, and labs.
The telehealth part of it seems, I think if you don't have insurance, you're paying upwards of somewhere between $50 and $100 for a telehealth visit. So do I have that right? You said $19 per telehealth visit?
Yeah, that's right. It's incredibly discounted and can result in significant savings for people without insurance or who have gaps in their insurance.
Yeah, that's incredible. I am going through your website right now. Over 250 free medications. That's incredible, starting maybe as low as $9 a month. But what do you think about having to offer this service to, consumers? What does that say about our healthcare system?
Well, that as you know, and many people know, has been a huge topic, both politically and from a regulatory perspective as well. What we're seeing is this growing trend of underinsurance, right, where insurance coverage just becomes more restrictive, and more medications are either not covered or folks may have a high out-of-pocket cost.
All right, so let's do this. If you don't mind, we got to take a break. We're up against a break, but when we come, do you still have 2 more minutes for us?
I do.
Sorry to keep interrupting. We'll be right back. You can tell us exactly how folks can sign up.
Sounds good.
Mystery Cam. All right, everything's wrapping up on the 405, so we did want to bring you those pictures. And then, Ronnie, I'm going to let you just pop 22 up. We have live pictures coming in from the White House as well, where they've just issued a temporary ruling from the United States Supreme Court that will allow the construction project at the White House to continue on, Des. It's so interesting because, you know, the way the camera is set over there at Lafayette Park across from the White House, you can't even see the ballroom construction, but it's happening kind of on the left-hand side of the camera right there. And my understanding is they're working close to 18 hours a day on this fast-moving construction project for the ballroom.
Yeah.
Looked like it might have to come to an end, but at least for the time being.
Yeah, for now it's got the green light. I mean, this decision is going to be pretty big for the Trump administration. I mean, the administration has been arguing how necessary the demolition and reconstruction of the ballroom is, citing, you know, safety, you know, concerns and issues, and we've seen, you know, the situation unfold at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. You know, that you know that was a good. A good thing to happen for their, you know, argument here, and
And then one part of the argument is that I believe that they're going to institute anti-drone technology up there. You know, I don't think that's down in the basement. That you would think that would come right off the top of the building. Who knows? But this is the world we're living in 2026. You got to be about possible drone attacks. So the Supreme Court says for now we'll put a stay on the previous judge's order. You can proceed, but now we don't know. Does that mean they're going to come back on Monday morning and issue a ruling? That would seem like pretty fast. It may be a few days or weeks before we get a final decision from the court.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure we'll look into this on later editions. You can follow us. We'll see, you know, why that decision came to be.
So we're working hard to get
to
wrap things up with Divya.
Yeah.
With GoodRx.
She's like, whoa, I joined on like the busiest news Friday. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, for sure.
But you were if you want to just finish your thoughts, you know, I had asked you, what do you think of having to offer services like this and what it says about our healthcare system? Obviously, there's some issues there, but you guys are trying to fill the gap.
All of you with an example of, you know, what it means for patients, because I think that makes it a little bit more real. So consider a typical American who maybe has diabetes, high cholesterol and anxiety, and they take metformin, atorvastatin, and sertraline for these conditions. These are generic medications, and at retail pharmacy, they cost about $130 a month. With GoodRx Companion, they cost $0. They're in our free tier. So that's a savings of $115 each month, or almost $1,400 annually. So it's a pretty significant savings there. And more importantly, the patient knows exactly what they're paying before they go to the pharmacy and are not hit with any nasty surprises with a really high out-of-pocket cost. So what I would leave everybody with is, if you do have gaps in your coverage, or if you're underinsured, there are options and resources. I would encourage everybody to check GoodRx for discounts on medications and other solutions like GoodRx Companion, which is goodrx.com/companion. They can also ask their doctor to switch them to a 90-day fill instead of a 30-day fill. Often those tend to be more affordable. And finally, you know, use their FSA or HSA dollars for additional tax benefits towards their prescription medications and other healthcare expenses.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah, we learned a lot.
No kidding.
I didn't know that your companion kind of offerings covered that much. Thank you so much for your time today. We're sorry for all the breaking news you had to sit through, but we appreciate you, Divya. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And I'm on their website, since she was talking about it. They have some interesting articles on here.
Oh, yeah?
How much ibuprofen is too much?
Okay.
Does lack of sleep cause weight gain? I'm like, oh, those are interesting articles I might like to read. So maybe you want to go check it out.
Yeah. Well, it's a streaming show, Des. We could just click on them right now. And
I know we can read them to you, but we'll spare you.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to throw up the mystery cam because we didn't get
do
to that before the break. So here it is. Wow. Look at that.
Lots of
pretty
Oklahoma. Lots of Oklahoma. I see a Texas from Outlaw Dynamo.
There's just like, what is that? Like one, is that even an office building? Like the one tower right there in the middle?
Okay, so that
Looks
actually
kinda dry.
makes me think that it might be Kansas. Remember Linda out there in the beautiful Gila Valley, one of our most loyal viewers, she jumped in with the first guess, and I thought, I'm trying to remember, but I think in Kansas, they... Topeka, their state capital, has one tall building. So I think I'm going to go Kansas with Linda. What about you?
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Oklahoma. Yeah, because there's just a couple of those in the chat from Paul and Louie guessing that. And Paul says, hello, Des. Great to see you. Great to see you up in the chat, I guess, right? We can't see you. But thanks for joining us today. Let me get the answer here.
We're the interactive show.
The mystery
Here you
cam.
go.
It is... stumped the both of us. We're wrong.
Okay.
It's Big Spring, Texas.
Big Spring, Texas.
Yeah.
So it's another one of these cities with one tall building.
There
I
you
always
go.
wonder.
But I thought everything was bigger in Texas. So
Not in Big Spring, I guess. Boy, you go to Dallas and man, is it booming. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to continue on now. We're looking forward. We've covered so much news, Des. It's time to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it is Friday, so we got to give you a little bit of that at least on the show, right?
Yep.
All right, so we've got a superstar on Zoom with us this morning. We've got a career spanning 16 seasons here with the challenge. Cara Maria Sorbello, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Hey guys, how's it going out there?
Cara Maria, I'm so sorry.
It's going great.
Yeah.
What do
Try
you
not to
think
melt.
explains the longevity of the show and the fact that the fans just keep wanting more?
Dude, we're at a point right now that we've done so many seasons that moms have passed on the love to their children, wives have passed on the love to their husbands, partners pass on the love, and it's like a generational love of the show. So it's just going through generations of generations now. We just grow up. People have grown up watching us. It's never going to end.
And it's how many seasons now? 42? Is that correct?
We're at 42 seasons, yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, so for people who aren't up to speed, we're going to roll some highlights here. Tell us about it.
Man, when I first came on the show, it was kind of like average Joes, people from the real world. And now I feel like they're bringing in athletes. They're bringing in really competitive young people from every reality show ever. You are doing the most scariest things that you could ever imagine yourself doing. I came from a non-athletic background. The only thing I ever did was ride horses and do art. And so this was a whole new world for me. And there's a lot of familiar faces. A lot of people have been watching a lot of the same faces like the CTs, the Johnnies, even me for years. You know, we've got a lot of new faces, a lot of old faces, and insane challenges, drama, relationships. It has everything.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned CT. It's like, I feel like fans of, like, you either love him or you hate him.
Nobody hates CT. I think you're thinking of Johnny.
Oh, okay. Yes, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So with all your experience on the show, and you've won a few times, what have you learned about yourself through the process? I mean, you said you weren't really an athlete. Like, how have you grown? How have you, evolutionized kind of through this?
I've learned, the challenge will test you in ways that you could never imagine in real life. Like, you're going to do stuff that you can try to be a good runner and a good swimmer, and that's going to help you a little bit. But what we do on the challenge, every day is different. You're doing stuff that you could never imagine. And I think what I've learned is when my back is truly, truly against the wall, I did start as an extreme underdog. And I felt like when nobody believed in me, when everybody was like, she's a loser, she shouldn't even be here, I clawed my way to the top. So truly, it's like a tale as old as time that, like, if you keep pushing and you work really hard, you can really accomplish anything, truly. The fact that I won is still blows my mind.
Well, and the fact that you have, entered stardom, let's be honest about it here. Did you really, when you were growing up as a kid, so I think you grew up in New England, right? And you went to Endicott College. What, when you were much younger, what were you even thinking your career path was going to be?
When I was in college, I ended up graduating with a psychology major and a criminal justice minor, and I really I was thinking of going into law. I kind of wanted to be a lawyer. Like that was the direction I wanted to go in, or like some kind of or the psychology field, or a little bit of like incorporating like criminal justice with psychology. And now I am basically in a prison, like a gorgeous prison with a lot of people that could be inmates. So it worked out. Really.
Yeah, right. Everything works out how it's supposed to. And given you're such a seasoned vet with how many seasons you competed on, your wins, what do you think when someone comes into these games and they may not be familiar with you? Are you offended by that? Or do you like actually prefer it? Does it like give you a leg up, or like what's your take on that?
I mean, I come for a time where like you gave the vets so much respect, whether they were good, whether they were bad, they were there before you, they paved the way, you give them respect. We're in a new generation where it's kind of hard not to know who the players are if you come onto the challenge. A lot of people are super fans of the challenge when they come in, even if they're being pulled from other shows. A lot of times they're going to these other shows specifically so they could be on the challenge. That's how big the challenge has become. But I prefer that people have no idea who I am, because then I don't do well with like expectations. I almost prefer people to think that I'm horrible, because then I do really well. Whereas if people expect me to do well, I come up short sometimes. So I almost do better when everybody doesn't believe in me. I'm kind of like, I don't want to let anybody down, but I can only surprise them.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I operate.
I guess I can understand that, right? You don't feel like you have to like rise to whatever maybe pedestal like they've put you on. That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has really been great. At least we didn't interrupt you. I don't know if you heard our previous. We interrupted like every 3 minutes. There was a car chase or the White House. Who knows what's going on? Lots of fun. Good luck on the next season, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you, and I'll be heading out your way. I think September 19th. So
come in studio.
Yeah, for
sure. Maybe we will.
Yeah, let's try and
we'll
work that
show
out.
Up. We'll just be. I mean, as long as I can be in the studio and not hanging off the side of the building.
You got it.
I don't know. We do have a helipad, so
bye for now.
We'd love that. Bye.
Welcome on in to Fox 10 Talks Special Edition, now at noon. We are starting with a beautiful live look from downtown Phoenix, looking to the north. A few little high clouds building off there in the distance, but all in all, looking for another hot day out there, and that is going to be our top story now at noon. Welcome on in.
Well, we have a lot to talk about with Crystal, not just weather, but also water rights as well. There's a lot of new information coming in, and we've been talking a little bit about how important it is, the water rights to everybody in the state, especially with this upcoming election. That's what people are paying attention to.
Yeah, totally. So I think we'll do the water in a minute, but we're going to do
let's
the
talk about
weather
what
first.
we can expect.
Okay, so let's start with the temperatures out there. Right now we're at 105 degrees in Phoenix, and we're in the upper 80s right now, Payson and Prescott, and then we're at 82 in Flagstaff. So pretty much across the map, it is already quite toasty out there, and those temperatures are only going on up the rest of this afternoon. So the extreme heat warning's in place. Down near Tucson through tomorrow evening, up near Mojave County, near like Vegas, through at least Sunday evening. But for the Valley, as well as for Yuma and La Paz counties, it's now in place all the way through next Friday, which yesterday we were talking about this. I said, I think they're probably going to end up extending this thing at least through the weekend, but potentially through next week, because the temperatures really are not changing at all. So we're in that 110 plus range, and we're just stuck there through the end of August at least, it looks like, which means we're going to be flirting with a couple of records. The forecasts for the next 5 days are on the board here. 112 for today, 113 for tomorrow. We dropped to 109 through Monday, but then we're back to 113 Tuesday. So when you compare to record, both this Saturday and next Tuesday, right now we're forecast to tie record. And if things start trending slightly hotter than what the models are suggesting and what we've been currently sitting at, then we'll end up potentially breaking or tying a few more records. So we're definitely in record territory as we move forward. And that's not just for Phoenix. Around the Valley and the state, there'll be the potential for some record level temperatures. So this afternoon, Globe at 100 degrees, 88 for Show Low, 114 for Lake Havasu, and those middle 80s for Flagstaff. And then there's the view on Fox Vision. Just a couple of isolated showers out there starting to pop, mostly along like the east edge of the state. In fact, if we do a little zooming on in here, you'll see scattered showers, thunderstorms outside of Eager, moving into like the New Mexico state line. A little bit of action has just started to bubble up outside of like Safford, between Safford and San Manuel, as well as near Wilcox. And then finally, there's a couple little showers that have been developing north of I-42. And that's pretty much the general location north and east that we're going to be watching through the early afternoon. Mid-late afternoon is when we'll start to watch for the southeast activity. So this is the future cast through the next hour or so, and it's generally showing storms in the spots they're currently at, maybe a few more along the Mogollon Rim or near Flagstaff. This is 4 o'clock, and there's now good scattering of storms down near Tucson. This is what we'll have to watch. It doesn't look like they'll be able to pack as much of a punch as the last few days, so I'm not super concerned. But if you get one or two isolated stronger storm cells, maybe the outflow winds kick up a little patchy dust in Pinell County or up near the valley into early this evening. But rain will not be able to make it into the valley. It looks like it's just going to be a little too dry for us. We just don't have the kind of atmosphere set up that's waiting to fire off storms. Instead, it's just going to be some clouds that pass by, and otherwise the heat, as we have been talking about. And this is a look at the 10-day forecast. That temperature at 113, as I mentioned, tomorrow, 111 Sunday. Basically, if you were hoping to get outdoors, might be real early in the morning, because that's about it before you're going to want to stay inside. Isolated shower chances in the evening, Saturday, Sunday, and potentially Monday. But otherwise, this is looking like a drier pattern to end the month of August, guys. So
And brutally hot.
Yeah.
There's just like no relief in sight.
Yeah.
Every time you add an extra day on that 10-day, I'm
I
like thinking, okay, it's going to go down.
Yeah.
Then every day I come in and look at your 10-day. Not the case.
But I'm grateful we're not seeing the 116s, 118s we have.
That's what I'll say is we didn't have like a huge stretch of the 115 plus territory, which we can have, but it does feel like, all the way in the end of August, and we're still doing
it's
10
hot.
days of that.
I was out there this morning. It's rough.
Yeah.
It is rough. Okay.
All right, our other big story that we are tracking for you, this is kind of the final decision that came down just about an hour ago, and this is all to do with the Colorado River. And we thought we would bring you in because you're well-versed on this. I do want to read just a couple of the little things I thought that I did some highlighting.
No, look at you.
Look at that.
You did
I
some
found
research.
a highlighter. So the combined contents of Lake Powell and Lake Mead have not been this low since before Lake Powell began filling following the closure of the gates of Glen Canyon Dam back in 1963, with both Lake Powell and Lake Mead hitting record lows in the past few weeks. And so basically this has been going on for a long time. We've been doing a lot of reporting, and this is kind of their final report. Is this what I'm correct in assuming and saying?
Yes. Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, New Mexico, Arizona in this upper basin area affected by these cuts.
So Arizona, California, California, Nevada are part of the lower.
Lower, okay.
Upper is the other states that you mentioned. And of course, there's been this like long time battle. We put out a proposal quite a long, I think near the beginning of the year. A couple of weeks ago, at the end of July, they put out we're going to do something in this range, but the range led up to potentially like a 77% cut. And that was very concerning. This is the final report. This is the final decision that came down.
So these are some of the numbers, if you want to go over this with us, Crystal, because Arizona getting that 760,000 acre feet.
California is getting a 440,000 acre feet.
And then Nevada, that 50,000 acre feet. So our producers crunched some numbers for us. Arizona normally is entitled to 2.8 million acre feet. Arizona will be taking a cut of about 760,000 acre feet, which is about 27 to 30% of its total Colorado River supply.
I saw a post that said that means that it's about 10% of the annual water use for Arizona. It's worth noting that all cap water, which is the Colorado River water, is super important in Arizona, especially agriculturally. But there is our own basins, which is the Salt and Verde. So the snow, a lot of times we are concerned about how much snow we get in wintertime in Arizona. And a lot of that actually goes to the Salt and Verde, which is just ours. We get to keep that water. It does not go into the Colorado River. It does not drain. It drains in the Salt and the Verde. And then this is the other water that we get, which in Phoenix, I looked up, is about 40% that we utilize of cap water. And then the other 60% is the Salt and Verde water, just so you kind of get the idea of the breakdown of like where the water that we use in the valley comes from.
So how is it going to affect, do we know yet, everyday people? People watching, does it affect us?
So
and I know this is over time and
I'm admittedly not like a specialist on this.
Right.
I just know about it because obviously it's adjacent to meteorology and the drought that we've been in for several decades now. So I think like in terms of impacts, we're yet to see, but did read a stat that said that so 1 acre foot is the amount of water it would take to roughly fill a field that was an acre large with 1 foot of water. Okay, so that's 1 acre foot.
That kind of helps you visualize.
Visualize that. That's a lot of water. And I was just talking with our executive producer, Mel, and she said she had looked up that about 2 to 4 houses use that in a year. Okay, so if you do that math, that would put you at like over 2 million households of water. But I want to be clear that that number is overly done, I believe, because a lot of times maybe household water, say like in the valley, for instance, we're getting a lot of the water from the Salt and Verde, not from cap water, which is the Colorado River water, which is the cuts we're talking about. That's Powell and that's Meade. That's, agriculturally, they're going to use different amounts than that like 2 to 4 number but it does give you kind of a perspective of the impact. An acre foot is a very large amount of water. So cutting 760,000 is a lot, but that is what was the proposal that was put forth from the lower state. So this was, and not best case. Best case would be that we weren't in this mess, but it is what like the governor and what a lot of water groups that were making this proposal. That's what they put forward. This is what they said. Hey, so it could have been worse in theory. What came out?
But they're also saying though that they are recommending we voluntarily conserve and store at least 700 acre feet of water over the next 2-year period to protect the system. In addition to this cut, though,
and that was also in the original proposal. Was hey, Arizona will give up 760,000. And you had the California and the Nevada numbers. A collective 3.2 million. So it's 1.25 million per year that's guaranteed. Plus, we're going to try collectively, the three of us, to also do another 700,000 by some new conservation efforts, some new storage efforts as well that they're hoping to work on. And another big point they're pointing out is that a lot of times when these come down, they can be like a decade of this is the plan for the next decade. But because this is such a crucial point with how low the levels are, it's only a 2-year plan. There's still room for the 3 to 10 year range. And I think they want to see how well things go these next couple of years to bounce off that, because part of the original proposal had a lot of, if it falls between this level, then we actually do this. And if it falls between this level, then we actually do this. So there is some adjustments that may be made as time goes on.
Let me ask you this, and this might be a question that you don't know how to answer, but I just wanted to pose this. Obviously, look at California versus us. California geographically is so much bigger than we are. Do you know why?
I'm probably not the right person to ask that. I know there's some, I think, issues with the way that the water rights were determined long ago. Maybe that California gets like first rights or something like that, but I don't exactly, I don't know for sure what the reasoning is for that. No problem.
I just wanted to kind of point that out because when you look at those numbers, you're like,
big difference.
California's a much bigger state than Arizona, and population-wise well, much bigger. So that's why I was just kind of, those numbers immediately kind of popped into my head as far as why. So we do have a reporter we should mention that is working on this, and we're going to have much more on later editions of Fox 10. So if you are interested, hopefully they're going to be answering a lot of these water questions for you on this Friday.
Do we have one more second?
Yeah,
I was
please.
just going to point out that the other thing they put out at the same time, which is what I'm a bit more familiar with, is the 24-month outlook or forecast, they call it. And they put out a few different things. They put the basically like the worst case scenario, which is known as the probable minimum, like if we use too much water and if we have very poor seasons ahead, and I'm talking winter seasons generally. The kind of best case scenario, if we had a really big winter season and we were really good at saving water, and then there's two most probable scenarios, depending on if we had 6 or 7 million acre feet per year that's released from Meade. So they put out these forecasts in 24-month periods. And in that forecast, I just looked, the forecast does have Lake Powell dropping. If you look at the probable minimum, so that's kind of like the worst case, it does fall below minimum power pool by next summer. And that is a problem because it supplies a lot of power to Arizona and the area. So that's one thing. But that, again, was kind of the worst case for that forecast. Lake Meade, the forecasts do not for the next 24 months fall at all below minimum power, but it does fall below what they're considering like an actionable level of 1,010 feet, where Bureau of Reclamation may have like additional actions that they require of us. So that's just for the next 2 years. Right now, Powell is at 3519. And the goal is to stay above 3510 from what I'm kind of seeing online. And then Meade right now is 1,039 feet. Minimum power is 950, so we're still a ways away from that. But remember, Powell, the water releases into Meade. So they play off each other. Like, if you release in one, then one's going to go up a tiny bit. They go off of each other. But
Interesting.
anyways,
Yeah.
so the forecast will be important because, depending on what line we end up following, will determine that 3 through 10 years ahead and how they kind of react, I believe.
All right. Well, Crystal, we appreciate you breaking all that down for us and for that hot 10-day forecast.
Oh, yeah, you're very
welcome.
welcome
Double
for that.
whammy on this Friday, right? We appreciate it.
Okay, we've got a little less than a minute. Let's talk a little bit about the new information that's coming out on this Bullard Avenue crash. This was Bullard Avenue, Greenway, just after 7 a.m. So surface streets, not freeways, but as you can see, the damage to that vehicle is absolutely horrendous. It looks like it went right into the pole. We do know one person taken to the hospital. They're expected to be okay. Greenway was closed at Bullard for the investigation, and that lasted for a couple of hours.
All right, we've got about 30 seconds left. We want to fit in this other story because this is kind of another big story that we are following. This is that individual that was killed down in Tempe. There's new surveillance footage, and we're also getting a look at who police are looking for. 33-year-old Alex James Barnett. Now, he was last seen riding a Harley-Davidson motorcycle with an Arizona plate DA466. So he is accused of killing an individual who was just about to graduate from the police academy, also wounding his fiance, who is a corrections officer. So this is who they're looking for. He's on your screen. They do consider him armed and dangerous.
33 years old, and he does have those very distinctive tattoos. So they're asking if anyone sees him or knows him to give him.
Welcome back. We're going to keep things rolling here on your Friday afternoon. And we were discussing this earlier, and our producer's like, we're going to talk about boomerang kids. And we're both like,
huh?
What's a boomerang kid?
Yeah, it's when they come back, like
when
a boomerang.
They come
you
back.
throw it, throw them out, and they come back.
They come right back.
We've got the high cost of housing, student debt, job market struggles, life transitions. Just a few of the reasons the children, the adult children, are moving back into their parent home after a period of independent living. So we want to introduce Bill Dendy. He's a CPA and money manager. It's hard to believe that A, the kids would want to move back in, and B, the parents would want them to.
Well, it's kind of funny. They don't want to. In fact, only 7% say they want to, but like half of them are actually doing it. And the parents are like, well, the short term, but the short term keeps getting longer and longer. So for a lot of people, what was going to be a month or two is now a year or two. It's a whole new way of doing things.
Are the parents charging rent, or are they just being kind and saying, okay, we'll help you out?
Well, it depends on the situation, and it shouldn't be so much about the rent. It's more about having a plan so that it's not a forever sustainable thing. You don't want to make it too comfortable, but it could be a really good way to develop a good launching pad to go forth and be able to do even more in the future. It's not a bad program, especially in households where we can't afford what our parents have. And so if we move back to the house, we've got the swimming pool, we got the maid service, we got laundry, we got a lot of good things
going on. You have a chef and a cook.
And if we can save some money along the way so that we can get our own stuff later, that's a really good program.
Bill,
Okay.
I wanted to mention something that you said as far as housing, because we have talked to some housing experts here. It's really hard for first-time home buyers. Obviously, we know these rates are out of control. A lot of folks that would sell their house, they're kind of stuck, like those golden handcuffs, I guess, because they're at such a great interest rate that they don't want to sell because then they're going to be paying the interest rate. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword that these folks are kind of stuck in. So is that one of the main reasons that we're seeing a lot of these kids saying after college or after their first job, they're coming back to mom and dad?
Yes, it's a combination of things. It's higher than historical student loan debt that they're starting out with. It's the job market not providing as high of a percentage of income as the housing is going to cost as it has in the past. And this housing market is a challenge. So this combination has made it more likely, or about as equally likely as a student comes back home after college as launches themselves at that point. And again, it's not a bad thing. The parents say, we can now travel. We got the pet taken care of. We got the house taken care of. We like having the children here. They clean up the messes. They bring some excitement to the house. We feel more secure. It can be a very positive thing, but make sure that you're not sacrificing one generation's security for another. And if that becomes the issue, well, then you really need to get back to getting some financial I guess basics and background, because I've seen some people, they're in that sandwich generation. They think their kids are launched, they come back, and now they're taking care of their own parents, and they're not going to be able to retire themselves. And that's a challenge.
Seeing some things about transitioning, maybe for the kids back into independence. So setting clear rules, open communication, and then making sure that they are contributing to the household. Like you said, watching the pet when mom and dad go out of town, or maybe picking up a meal or two.
Precisely. You don't want to make it like a permanent hammock hangout for them, but you don't want to make it so miserable that they finally leave because they're frustrated. Good family relationships are built when you solve problems together. And this is one of those things that we can take this opportunity to solve some problems. And it's not just a few people. It is about half the recent college grads. It's a new way of doing things. And I know in previous generations, people couldn't wait to get started. They wanted to get their driver's licenses as soon as they could at 15 and 16. And people are waiting a little bit longer now. And people want to get out of the house as quickly as they could at 18 or launch their own careers. This generation is taking a little bit more time, and they may be more financially off and better off in the long run because of it.
Mr. Dendy, I wanted to ask you, though, so let's say that you do have an adult child move back in with you. It could be probably fairly easy, I'm just speaking for myself if I were in this situation, to be a little bit more spendy after that happens because you've got that safety net of living with mom and dad. But I can also feel like that would get you kind of stuck in this hamster wheel of never really getting out on your own. So is there maybe some advice that you would give if they do move back in? How much should they be saving? Should they have a goal of exiting mom and dad's house in a couple months, years? What's the goal here?
Excellent question. And it shouldn't necessarily be a date we're going to move out. It should be obtaining some of those goals. And you asked early on, do we charge rent or not? It depends. But I've seen a lot of families say, you're saving $800 a month in rent, so we're going to put that in your emergency savings fund, or put that in your own fund so it grows. And so it's a requirement. And people that are really smart about this, even before the boxes get moved in and unpacked, they've had the money discussion of what the expectations are. Because I think it can be a very good thing if you have a plan in place.
Sure.
I think too many people find themselves frustrated because they didn't have a plan in place, and the months stretch into many months, which stretch into years, and they haven't put the child in a better situation. They made them more dependent because they allowed them to expand their lifestyle beyond what they could really afford.
Do you see this happening in the reverse, where we have the adult children who then get married and they have a family, and then maybe mom and dad are aging and decide we don't need a place of our own, we're going to go move in? Like in Arizona, we have, the mother-in-law rooms, the suites, the casitas. Do you see that happening in reverse, where mom and dad are now saying, hey,
we're moving in with you.
We're going to come live with you guys, and we'll travel and we'll do our thing, but we're going to save money as well, because health insurance is not cheap as you get older. There may be health issues where you need a little bit of help.
That's true. And for a lot of people, they don't need round-the-clock assisted living care, but they do need somebody kind of close, and family close is a big help. And so this idea of living together or living close together, family communes, the casita out back, or the room in the house with their own entry and quarters can be a very good solution, and allows that further, independence before we actually get outside professionals helping out. And so that's a very common thing. It's a nice thing that if you have that type of relationship. I have friends that say, I cannot believe that your wife would put up with your parents moving in with you, but that's always their privilege if they should ever have the need. And I think that's one of the things a lot of us want to be able to provide. But again, if you plan this on the front end, if you start building this before you need it, if you build the plan and have discussions with family, you end up with much better outcomes.
Very true.
Yeah.
I guess it's all about that communication, isn't it? Mr. Dindy, thank you so much for the time. If folks have more questions, how can they reach you?
It's alicorninvestmentmanagement.com. Alicorn, it's the unicorn that flies. ALICORN.
Are you located here in the Valley?
Alicorninvestmentmanagement.com.
Oh, you're from Texas. All right. Well, yeehaw.
It's probably hot in Texas as well.
Mr. Dindy,
Ty's our
thank you.
resident cowboy.
Yeehaw, y'all. Is that what they say in Texas? Yeehaw.
Yeehaw, sure.
All right. Bye, Mr. Dindy. Thank you.
Not a cowboy.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, wait.
Who are you showing off? Who's that?
Oh. Now she still lives at home.
13-year-old daughter.
There we go.
Picking out the nursing home for me.
Oh, no, you're going to be living with her. Don't worry. She's going to take you in.
I love it.
Oh, that is so sweet. Go take her shopping. Go take her shopping. Yeah, to Abercrombie.
We're at the airport.
Abercrombie.
Athens.
Oh, you're going to Athens.
Take her shopping in Athens.
Oh, have fun in Athens.
It's a deal.
Okay.
Enjoy that feta, okay?
How cute.
Have fun on your vacation.
Oh my gosh, that's so fantastic.
I love that he just at the airport before he goes to Athens on a summer
this
trip.
is why he has the money to go to Athens, because he's
go.
always working.
He's always working on the fly.
Okay. Other news that we want to talk about, valley fever. We've had so many of those big dust storms.
Oh my gosh.
And a lot of people worry about them. I have personally interviewed Dr. Gagliani many times, who has told me you don't necessarily have to worry about valley fever during a dust storm. You can get it at any time that dust kicks up, like construction sites, because of the spores. Right. So Arizonans are very familiar with it. It's caused by a fungus found in soil, typically occurs in dry desert climates like Arizona. When the soil dries out, the spores can become airborne, and they could potentially make people sick.
Let's listen to what he has to say.
People who know about valley fever before they get sick get diagnosed much sooner than people who don't, because they ask their doctor for a valley fever test.
That is very good, because we were just talking to some other individuals who say, I think it was Celeste's own personal story, like they didn't do a whole lot of testing for her daughter.
They didn't know she had it.
And it was kind of like the last test they did, and then she finally tested positive. So it's one of those things here in Arizona, we kind of know about this. So if you start to experience some of those symptoms, that might be a really good conversation to have right off the bat. with your primary care physician.
Yeah, doing a little bit of research on it, it says most cases will clear up on their own. However, the severe infections may require an antifungal medication. And also keep in mind, it's not just people, but dogs get it. And Dr. Galgiani has been actually studying a vaccine on dogs and got approval recently to now study it on humans. He's based out of Tucson, so he does some really, really excellent work. Yeah.
All right, I wanted to show you this, you guys. We're getting some information here, some national headlines. Look at this. This was a carjacking that happened in Florida. So a suspected carjacker is due in court after allegedly carjacking a woman's car, and this was in the Ormond Beach area of Florida, if you're familiar. Look at that.
Oh, my gosh.
Look, she's like yelling at people like, that guy just stole my car.
Wow.
Police say it all started when the suspect ran from troopers, then stole the elderly woman's car and caused even more chaos. Investigators say that the individual crossed into oncoming traffic, putting drivers directly in his path. He then crashed near a Walmart and then tried to run, but was quickly taken into custody. There you see, finally getting into custody. But look at that car. It is mangled. It's missing a front end, the door. Pretty wild. The sheriff says flock cameras in this particular situation played a role in finding him following the initial carjacking.
Okay, less than a minute left, you guys. We're going to take you over to Las Vegas. Hard Rock Las Vegas Guitar Tower is nearly complete. $5 billion casino complex expected to open late 2027. Construction started after the Mirage closed in July of 2024. And by April of 2025, foundations were set for the 660-foot, 42-story tower. It'll hold 3,700 rooms and suites, and once finished, 6 light beams will shoot 20,000 feet in the sky to mimic guitar strings. Property also features a 174,000 square foot casino, 2 performance venues, including 5,000-seat Hard Rock Live and 2,000-seat West Theater. It's going to serve as a twin to the Seminole Hard Rock location in Florida, with the full complex expected, as we mentioned, to open in 2027. Just when you think they outdo themselves, like with the Sphere,
keep doing something different.
They keep going different.
This is really cool. This kind of
Wow.
time lapse where they are showing it in its different sections as it continues to grow. Look, this is just back in August. There they go. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us on this Friday afternoon. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on the special edition of Fox 10 Talks at noon.
Have a safe weekend. Stay cool. Hydrate.
And we'll see you
Monday.
Monday.